Hello everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome back to my Beautiful Nights channel. For this video, I wanted to show you guys the necklace that I designed with the Softlex Company Champagne Toast kit. This is their monthly subscription kit that they put out. If you do not see me open that, I'll put a picture of what I got in it. Alright, so this is the necklace that I designed with that kit. This is the wire that came with it. It is gorgeous. It was the first time I've gotten this wire. In case you're interested in the color name, it is called Champagne. Okay, and it is just beautiful. I love that color. Here are my leftovers. I did end up using most of the stuff in the kit. I used one crimp tube. I didn't use the lobster claw. And I used, these here are check glass mushroom beads. I did use 7 of these. And these are my other leftover beads. So I had 4 of those. Okay. I had these little 2026 charms, 2 flute charms, little cap there, little rice-shaped crystal there, and 2 earring findings. Now I also had, I should have had, 1 leftover 6mm pearl, because for some reason I got 7 of them, and usually they put out odd or even numbers and odd numbers, but I lost it. And thank God they gave me 7, because if they didn't, I would not be able to do this pattern. I would have to have changed something, because I was missing, I'm missing one of those pearls, and I got on the floor. I looked everywhere for it. I cannot find it. It'll show up one day, hopefully. I think it's too big to go up into the vacuum, because it is glass. Things usually don't go in the vacuum that size. Anyways, this is the necklace that I ended up making. And so I first wanted to make a long necklace. Wait, before I go back into this. There was a necklace that I made one year with a previous Softlex box. I think it was called All That Glitters. I ended up making a necklace, bracelet, earrings, and ring. It was the first time that I've made 4, like an entire piece of jewelry, a set out of a subscription. So I'll put a picture up for that, okay? So all those colors are beautiful. I think that was like a New Year's kind of thing. And this was too. So all of those colors are beautiful. Gold, silver, clear, you know. So this is kind of similar, but this time they gave us more shapes to work with. And so what I did is I actually wanted just a long necklace. And I did lay out a pattern, and I was happy with it, but then I thought, you know what, I want to make a crystal tassel. So I might have a picture to show you of my first design that I did with this. I'll see if I can, I took a picture, but I'm gonna have to, it was taken vertical, so I'm gonna have to turn it sideways to get it into the video. So that was my first necklace. And then I thought, you know what, I really would like a tassel. I think I could achieve a tassel with the little crystal beads that they gave me. They gave me 4mm cubes, and they gave me these little like rice-shaped beads. And so I first came up with the pattern, and I just left some of these crystal beads behind, right? So I came up with this here, the large beads. So from the gold 4mm here that you see, all the way around, I laid those beads out on my board, okay? And then I had these crystal beads here and these, and I had this here was originally going to be down here. If you refer back to the first picture, you will see this pattern, okay, was originally down here in the center. So this was turned sideways, but in this section was repeated here. Get what I'm saying? And so I ended up making this tassel, and I've done tutorials on tassels before. I have different kinds of tassel tutorials. One time I did a tassel design where the loops were seed beads, and I looped them around, and I had a lampwork bead for the focal, so I'll put a picture up for that. That's a video. You can go watch that video tutorial. Another time I did a tassel where instead of doing loops, I did strands of beads like I did in this one here. So I'll put a picture up for that one. And I do recommend that you go and watch that one because that's the tassel that I remade for this here. I just have less dangles because I was limited with how many threads I can pass through this bead here. Okay, so I refer you to go back to that. I've also done a tassel, a traditional, I say traditional, I did a tassel with embroidery floss or whatever kind of cord you want. I've also done it with leather. The leather one was really cool, and the teal turquoisey leather tassel in this picture I actually have on my purse, and I've had it on my purse for over a decade. I've had the same purse. I'm probably the only woman in the world that has used the same purse for an entire decade without changing it out. Not even one time. I just recently changed my purse out because of going to the hospital. I have to carry medicine around everywhere I go. I have to take medicine 4 times a day, and I also have to carry a blood pressure cuff with me, and so I had to upgrade to a larger bag, a tote bag, so I can carry around medicine, a water bottle, my blood pressure cuff, all that. But anyways, I still have that tassel on my purse, and I actually want to go back to it because I miss that purse. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is these tassels are very durable and they can last many, many years. And so, yeah, I've done 3 different tassel videos that I can think of. So I have all the pictures up for you. Hopefully I can find them all. And this one here I did slightly different. So I'm going to tell you what I did different with this one. So I went back and I watched my old video because I have almost 1,000 videos and I don't remember how to make everything I've ever made. So I went back and I watched the video. I'm like, okay, I'm going to redo that. I went to the material list because, of course, I'm really good about notes, and I put how much thread you will need in the description. I think it was like 5 feet of thread. Depending on how many dangles you want, you would need more thread. I listed that in the description. So anyways, I took thread and I took a split ring. I could have used a jump ring, but the thread would slide eventually through the jump ring. So I'm like, well, I'll do a split ring. And I tied a surgeon's knot onto the split ring. Okay, and you can see the opening in the split ring up there. I made it that it was up. So I tied it tight with a surgeon's knot, and it had a short tail, maybe 4 or 5 inches, okay? And then I was attached to the ring, and I put on the cap, my large crystal focal bead, the little bead cap, they're tiny, and again, I had to use what I got in the box, so I would have actually have liked to use a bead cone down here, but I was using what I got in this box. So if you got this, now I say box, it's not a box, they wrap it in tissue paper, the kit. If you got this kit, you can remake this necklace pretty much exactly the same way that I did, because the only thing I used from my own stash was the split ring and thread and seed beads for the tassel, okay? Everything else, all of it was from the kit. So basic necessities from my stuff. So after I did the cap, focal cap, I picked up seed beads because I knew that these beads here were too big to be up here. It would be too tight. So I did 3 seed beads to give me some space, and then I did the olive shape, the cubes, olive cubes. So you see 2 right in between the olives, and then I ended down here with that olive, and then I had to do 2 seed beads on the sides with this drop bead. So then tying the knot here, going down through these beads, picking up these beads, coming down, looping around the drop, going back up through this bead, and then I had to take the string, the needle, go through the split ring, back down, add another dangle, loop back up through here, through the ring, back down, pick up more beads, loop back around, and you do that as many times as you can. And I ended up doing 7, and what happened to me is that this was too small, the hole in this, that when I came back up I could not pass my needle through here. So what I ended up doing is I came up through the top of the seed beads, I came down the next 3, and I tied a knot. And I think that's my knot right there that's visible. I thought I hit it. Okay, and then I came down and I tied like a knot in here, came down, tied a knot, and I just tied a few knots, and I came all the way down these here, and I cut it off. And then up here I had that tail, right? And what I would have liked to have done was bring that back through and tie it off, but I couldn't. But I did have a nice surgeon's knot up here. So I was like, you know what I'm going to do? This is a synthetic thread that I'm using. I'm going to tie a second knot around the split ring, and I'll burn it with my lighter. And that's what I did. And that's how I did that little crystal tassel. Isn't that cute? So I hope all of that made sense. Now I'm going to go to the necklace and show you the pattern. So once I had that there figured out, I was then able to do this. So really the only little crystal bead that I have left out of the small ones is just one of the olive shaped beads. Okay, and then I have that big one there. So I made sure that I was going to have enough to make this necklace. And this does slide over your head, so you don't need a clasp. And I finished the necklace, you might not even have noticed, down here. Underneath this pendant is the sterling silver crimp tube. I just flattened it because it's a little hard to fold it in this situation. And because I used a split ring, what I did is I strung all my beads up. I waited to complete the tassel. I crisscrossed my ends through here, okay, and I moved this to the side like that. I crimped it. I made sure that I had space, enough space for movement, and yeah, I crimped it with the tassel on. Now here's the thing, it took me years to get the tension right on bead stringing with tiger tail or bead stringing wire. And really, what I have learned is whenever you string beads like this on bead string wire, you need about 1/8 of an inch of space. So if I pull this apart really hard, see that little gap there? Now when you let this go, you don't see that gap anywhere, because what's going on is the beads are relaxing. Now if you're using teardrop beads, okay, like this, in a strung up necklace, you are going to notice the tension is a huge problem. If you don't lay your teardrop beads down flat on your work table, okay, lay the necklace out as if in a shape that you would wear it, okay, and then go to crimp it, take your time, be slow, because those beads, the teardrops, dagger beads, they will flip over if your tension is too tight, and they're going to stand up and it's going to look crazy and you're going to have to redo it. So yeah, it took me a long time to get that just right. And that's something that nobody taught me. And I've been beading since I was 7 years old. I've been beading for 29 years. And back in the day when I was a little girl, I would look on YouTube and nobody taught how to do that. So that was something I had to learn on my own. So anyways, let's go over the pattern. Okay, I'm going to zoom in. If you look, I do have some patterns that are the same. So, silver bead. See the silver bead here? Coin shape. On the sides is a clear rondelle, a faceted rondelle. And then on the sides of that is the rhinestone metal bead. Okay? So, I have 4 groups of those. Then this section here, I have 2 of those. I have 3 of these, but this one was pulled down to here and I flipped that bead around like I said. I have 2 of those, okay? So, starting here, I have a gold spacer bead. I believe it's glass, but it looks like it's metal. This large hole bead, gold bead, pearl bead, gold bead. This here is a pattern. So the gold, the huge rondelle, this gold bead is so pretty. In between I have the gold crystal rondelles, and then that crystal again, gold again. So that's the section, okay? And I intentionally made sure that the biggest beads were down here so that it laid right, okay? So those were the biggest right there. And then here is that break in the pattern. And then I did that up here again. So after this, okay, I have the gold, the pearl, 8mm, cap, that beautiful bead there, cap, large hole bead again, pearl, gold bead. And then there's this section. And I put the cap on that bead cap, teardrop, rhinestone rondelle, the pearl. That's a real pearl, by the way. Rhinestone rondelle, teardrop, cap, and the gold bead right there. That's another pattern. Okay, and then this here is repeated again. So I took and put this down here. And then after this is a gold bead, and that would have been extra, so I just put that there. So actually, if you study this, there's a gold spacer. The gold 4mm, 3x4mm rondelle is a spacer. It breaks up my patterns. So I have one here and here. Okay? Where I'm pointing at is where my little gold bead at. It's just a little spacer, and then I ended up down here. I ended up deciding to add more to get more length, because if you look at this, it's the pearl, okay, and then that large bead. But like, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put the gold bead here to make this even longer. I need more length, so I did that. And like, what else am I gonna do with them, right? Just put them in my stash. And then I added in that gold bead there, and doing that really helped me with crimping this. And if these were touching together, it would have just looked unfinished. So yeah. Now back here, I did 3 cubes in the rice shape bead and 3 cubes, and I repeated that. I did not count it, but that there is the back of the necklace. Now when I wear this, this here just goes right up to like where this starts to go around the back of my neck. So it actually lays perfect. It is perfection. I'm very happy with it. I think it is beautiful, and you can wear it with anything because of the colors in it. So this is it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and go check out those tassel tutorials that I have done several years ago. There's so many different ways to make tassels, and it's another way to make a focal piece, a pendant for your necklace, for your purse, whatever you want to do with the tassel, really. Alright, so this is it. Please like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and make sure you click the bell button so that you get notified whenever I upload new videos, and follow me on my social media sites. I'm on Instagram, Pinterest, and X. Thanks for watching.